those are Aoudad behind me, so this could be Morocco or it could be Chad, but we're in West Texas. In the southwestern United States, introduced Aoudad have done really great. Hi, I'm Craig Boddington. On this episode of Boddington Experience, we're gonna hunt one of my favorite mountain animals. They're a tough animal, kind of a bridge between the sheep family and the goat family, and always an exciting mountain hunt. It's the month of March. We're gonna hunt with Hunter Ross of Desert Safaris, an off-season month for some things, but this is prime time for Aoudad. Stay with us for a great Boddington experience. This episode is brought to you by Global Sportsman's Network.
Craig Boddington, decorated Marine, award-winning writer, hunter, adventurer. He's explored 6 continents to hunt over 300 species of big game, and he's not done yet. This is the Boddington Experience.
We're here on the Tascatau Mesa. Now this is a kind of country that's between the Davis Mountains and the Chinati Mountains to the south, and it's really good Aoudad country with Hunter Ross of Desert Safaris. Hunter, it's been a while since we've hunted together.
Welcome, sir. Glad to have you back as always.
Good to be here. But
I'm ready.
First order of business is we better check these rifles. I've broken every rule there is, and I've got a brand new scope on this rifle. Donna's got her old 270, and I know it's working, but we're going to have to shoot this one.
Well, good. We'll go over here to the range and check them out and go look at some Aoudad this afternoon.
Okay.
Does that sound like a plan?
You bet. Sounds good.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Craig, what are we shooting today?
Well, this is the LAW, Legendary Arms Works Model 704 that's in 300 Win Mag. I've been shooting it all season, and I really love the rifle, but I've just put a brand new scope on it. This is a Leupold VX6, but this is a new one, 3-18.
What kind of Hornady load are we shooting, Craig?
Well, this is at Superformance, which is a really fast load. I've been getting good accuracy. This is a 180 grain SST.
That's where you want to be. You're
2 and a half.
2.5. Perfect.
2.5 high at 100.
I'd say if you can put one more like that,
Yep.
let's go kill something with it.
After sighting in the rifle, the group heads out to look for a nice Aoudad for Donna.
See where the saddle is right there? Right, there's a big ram standing right there. And there's 2 ewes right above him. See him walking? Yeah.
Wait till tomorrow, huh?
I say we go in there. They're going to bed right on that face right there, and I think that way we're not having to make a rush decision and try to do something we don't want to do in a hurry.
We need time, because if we rush it, we're going to bust that herd. There's too many of them.
You'll see as we get over there tomorrow, but that canyon it's enormous. I mean, that gorge down in there, I mean, it's 1,500 foot drop straight down, and they're pretty content and they're just feeding. So I say let's just leave them in there.
Okay.
This segment was brought to you by Legendary Arms Works.
What makes a legend? Are they born naturally, or do they aspire for greatness? Can they be cultivated, or does it come with hard work, dedication, and years of experience? Be prepared. Be resourceful. You may not end up in history books, but there will be stories told about you. Legendary Arms Works. Live legendary.
The Leupold custom dial system gives you absolute long-range accuracy based on your specific caliber. bullet, velocity, altitude, and temperature. It all goes into a custom laser-etched elevation dial made exclusively for you. Just get your range, dial, and hold dead on. Take your accuracy to the next level with the Leupold custom dial system.
I'm Craig Boddington. Are you tired of digging for the gun in the back of the safe? The Pendleton organizes your long guns, handguns, and valuables. I trust my collection to Pendleton. Moisture controlled, easy access. Made to order in the USA. This safe will exceed your expectations. Call us or visit our website. You'll be glad you did.
This February, don't miss the most spectacular show in hunting and the chance to start living your dreams. Book now for the Ultimate Hunters Market in Las Vegas, the SCI Convention. Over 800,000 square feet of today's premier big game destinations. Fine firearms, artwork, auctions, seminars, and much more. Presented by Safari Club International. Register today before hotels are full.
Traveling like I do, every now and then I hit a rainy day or I get stuck in an airport. That's when I catch up on what's happening at Global Sportsman's Network. That's where I watch my favorite outdoor TV shows, read up on the latest news and gear, and catch up with some of my best friends. Global Sportsman's Network is the fastest growing site for outdoors people on the web. It's available for streaming to your computer, your tablet, your phone, and soon it's going to be available right there on your TV. Global Sportsman's Network, that's where I take in the outdoors. This segment is brought to you by Leupold, America's optics authority.
Craig, that big group of sheep we put to bed last night, we're gonna get over there quickly and see if we can locate those sheep. I think they'll be right there, and hopefully we might even can get lucky and get a double on them, maybe.
That'd be great.
You never know. There's some good ones in that group.
But let's go over there and take a look, and
Let's
I
find
think we got plenty of time this morning to put a good stalk on them, and let's go get it done.
Well, let's take our time and get in there on them.
Sheep are right where we left them last night. They're kind of feeding, going down into the canyon, which is an ideal situation, kind of what we were wanting. And we've got a good south wind in our face, sun at our back, and I think once we get out to this first tier out here, about 500-600 yards, that those sheep are they're gonna go down the bottom of that canyon. Hopefully we'll be within presentable rifle range right there. That's just a big old lone ram by himself. That's a different sheep. Oh, we can ease up. I just want to get a perspective of if they've either dropped down or what they're doing. Those other rams, they gotta be right here close. They didn't just up and leave all these animals.
There's a big one.
You see, there's 4 sheep staggered right there. The one walking out, the one that just walked out right there.
He's huge. We get over there.
We're gonna have to go all the way back to the headquarters, and there's a road coming down by the front gate that will access us on this side of the canyon, and I can drive out and then we can just walk this whole point. You know, we're coming out, it's gonna be like walking on top of this.
Okay.
And now, a conservation minute from SCI, First for Hunters.
We're
here at the 43rd Safari Club International Convention.
You know, this is also one of the greatest shows of wildlife art in the entire world. There's more than 55 internationally renowned artists here, and I tell you what, if you like wildlife, you gotta like wildlife art, and there's no place where you're gonna see more of it than here at the Safari Club Convention. Well, Hunter, these sheep essentially got here naturally. What they were introduced a long time ago, but a long ways from
Well,
here.
they were released in the early 50s in the southern end of the Shinati Mountains, and then there was a subsequent release done in the Glass Mountains.
Which is a long ways from here.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's another 130, 40 miles from here. And then there was another release done in Paladuro Canyon up in the Panhandle. And
but from the Chinatis and maybe even from the Glass, they've really populated literally everything you can see.
They have just almost in every entire mountain range in this western part of the state has Aoudad. It's a rewarding hunt and it's challenging.
This segment was brought to you by Pendleton Safes.
The new standard by which all ammunition is judged. Superformance from Hornady. Superformance provides increased performance in every rifle. With cutting-edge bullets and ultra-progressive propellants, Superformance delivers up to 200 feet per second more muzzle velocity than conventional ammunition. Flatter trajectories and more downrange energy. Superformance ammunition from Hornady. It is rocket science.
This segment is brought to you by SCI, First for Hunters.
They spotted some rams but couldn't get past the cliffs below. They decided to get a better angle.
Craig, basically what we've done is this big canyon right here, we've just made a big horseshoe shape around here. The sheep are going to be about 1/2 to 3/4 of a mile right down here, and we're going to plan of attack stay up above them right here. We've got the wind right, but once we get down to this first tier down here, about 1/2 a mile or so, those sheep should be down in that canyon right in there. Hopefully we can get Donna in position and get it done.
I hope so.
All right, let's go. We'll take off and go right down here to this greasewood, the short green stuff right on the top, and then we'll just get in the stealth mode right there and just be peeking over the edge, and I think we'll pick them up right there.
They got around the rimrock and finally were able to get a clear shot on that big ram.
6 inches behind the shoulder. Straight
Looks like a clean miss.
Well, Hunter, you did a great job of getting us on them. Unfortunately, I missed.
Hey,
So
it happens. If you hunt enough, it happens.
gonna have to keep looking.
Well,
That's pretty hard when they're all balled up like that. There's an awful lot of pressure builds.
Why don't we just find a bigger one? All right.
This
We
is
got
practice.
about half an hour walk to the truck, so we'll head that direction and go find some more.
In this Medical Minute, Dr. Sadaf Khan's going to tell us about a subject that's near and dear to my heart. I was on a mountain in Uganda and I went down hard, and we got into town and they misdiagnosed it, so I flew home with it, and I never knew I'd had a heart attack until we finally got to the hospital, and of course they diagnosed it in about 90 seconds, but by then I was in big trouble. So how can you tell if your hunting partner's having a heart attack?
Well, heart attacks, or what we call acute coronary syndrome, they're very important issues in any situation, but especially in the hunting world. It's known that you're 3 times more likely to die from a heart attack than you are from a gunshot wound. So you need to be aware of this. We talk about the 4 E's of increasing your risk of having a heart attack, things that will increase your heart rate and increase the strain on the heart. So we talk about obviously exertion. You're climbing a tree stand, you're field dressing your deer and then dragging out, your heart rate will go up. Also emotion, epinephrine or adrenaline as we call it over here, will increase your heart rate, and environment, the cold and also altitude will cause more strain on the heart. As well as eating a large meal before you go out to hunt, you may want to avoid that. But there are certain signs and symptoms of heart attacks that would be important to recognize in yourself and also in your buddies that you're hunting with. We talk about chest pain or pressure. Certainly it can present in the chest, but it can also radiate. It can radiate to your jaw, it can radiate down your arm, into your back. You may have a feeling of upper abdominal pain, indigestion even, nausea, vomiting. These are all things that could indicate a heart attack. Shortness of breath and sweatiness are things that you ought to look out for. Other signs are elevated heart rate, low blood pressure. These are all things to look out for in a patient that potentially is having a heart attack in the field.
And if you even suspect it, then what do?
If you suspect that your colleague or you are having a heart attack, you have to be fairly aggressive in the field. We talk about medications that you can take, and these have been approved of by the American Heart Association. Aspirin is something that people carry regularly, especially baby aspirin, that's 81 milligrams. We recommend you take 4 of those, or take a regular aspirin at 325 milligrams. Certainly if anybody in the party is carrying nitrates, sublingual nitro will help. Beta blockers like metoprolol, that will help. And Plavix, if there's Plavix available, go ahead and take it. Other environmental things that you can do: if you're altitude, descend. If you have oxygen, use it. Make sure the patient's well hydrated. If they're still able to drink, make sure that they're hydrated. If you get to a situation where they're feeling faint or lightheaded, like they're about to pass out, you didn't have that opportunity, have them cough repetitively and deeply. That will increase intraarterial pressure and maybe keep them conscious for a little longer if they're having a bradycardia. Those are all things that you can do, but the definitive treatment obviously is to get them out of the field, evacuate them as soon as possible, and get them to a treatment center where they can undergo testing and, if needed, reperfusion therapy such as stenting or angioplasty, because even 36 hours after a heart attack, that will reduce your complications and could save your life.
I was there, but they misdiagnosed it.
That was unfortunate, but I'm glad you survived that episode.
So am I.
I'm Dr. Sadaf Khan. I want you to enjoy the outdoors safely, and I want you to take your Global Rescue Card with you.
This segment was brought to you by Global Sportsman's Network. This segment is brought to you by Hornady. Accurate, deadly, dependable.
Well, Hunter, where are we going to try this morning?
We're going to go up through the middle canyon of the ranch here and access the rim back over here on the east side of us, and we're going to get up there and do some walking and glassing and work some of those cuts out and some of those big draws and canyons, and hopefully we can pick up some of these big rams in there.
Okay, that sounds good.
That sound like a plan?
Yeah, let's try it.
Let's do it. And do a process of elimination. If we're not finding them up on top, we're going to work some of these cuts and these tiers off right off the edges of the rim. He's looking at that ewe to the right, and if she moves, he'll turn and present you a broadside shot there.
Okay, there he goes.
Shoot. Chamber another one, put another one in him. You got him, you got him. Stay on him, he's gonna come right down this shelf right here. If you get another shot, shoot him again.
Oh, there he goes, he's rolling. He's down.
He's down. Good shot, good shot.
Oh, man, that is a beautiful ram.
Congratulations, that's
what we were looking for, thanks. Wow.
Well, you don't get any bonus points for location on that one, though.
No.
He's in a pretty precarious place.
We got some work to do, but he's not going anywhere. Yeah. My goodness, look at this ram. Wow. Hunter, we've seen more big rams than I've ever seen the last couple of days, but when you saw this guy, you just said shoot him. What do you see? Because for me, and I've hunted them a lot, gee, they look a lot alike.
They do, but he's just got that old man look to him. I mean, he's got his ear cartilage is busted here. He's got those big lacerations and scars on him. I mean, look at the big chunk taken out of his horn. He's really, really the superior sheep. He's one thing unusual about him is usually they have that black stripe running down his back, and he doesn't have it, which is very, very unusual. But he's got 9 annuli growth rings on him, plus his lamb tip. So he's 10-year-old ram. I mean, he's ancient old warrior.
Yeah, he's seen some tough years.
Tremendous beard and chaps on him. He's a great ram, great sheep.
Beautiful ram.
You made an excellent shot on him. And
well, thanks. It was nice and close, and for sure, this is what we were looking for.
It paid off.
Well done.
Good shooting.